Hi, I'm Colin, and I freaking love tacos. I mean, who doesn't, right? They're delicious. Whenever I'm at a taqueria, I always have to get the tacos al pastor. They're amazing. They're usually really well seasoned and super flavorful. I just love them. I can't get enough. But for how much I love them and how many times I've eaten tacos al pastor, I really don't know much about how they're made. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're made with pork and they probably come from Mexico. But other than that, I'm kind of in the dark. My goal for this weekend is going to be to figure out what exactly are tacos al pastor, and then I'm going to try and see if it's something I can tackle here at home. So here we go. So like anybody who went to college in the age of the internet, the first thing I did when I wanted to research this topic was type in tacos al pastor into Wikipedia. So according to Wikipedia, al pastor means shepherd style. And that's because this dish was developed in central Mexico in the early 20th century based on Lebanese immigrants who were doing shawarma-style spit-grilled meat, aka gyros. So apparently these immigrants came over and they were cooking lamb and making gyros and cooking it in that vertical spit style. And the folks in Mexico were like, oh, hell yeah. And then they adopted the cuisine to have their own kind of marinades and to use pork instead of lamb. And voila, something new is born, and boy, are we thankful. So the next stop in my research journey is over here on Bon Appetit. This guy named Rick Martinez wrote an article called, "No, you don't need a spit to make almost authentic tacos al pastor." Shut up, Rick. We're trying to have fun here, buddy. So according to Rick, yeah, you can make really amazing, super awesome tacos al pastor on your grill, but where's the fun in that? Where would we be if we didn't combine an excessive cooking project with an excessive building project? All right, so Rick might be redeeming himself. I'm over here looking at his recipe, and it's looking amazing. All these ingredients look great, but he also stresses how you want to make your own achiote paste. So adding to the work, yes, sir, thank you. So it's Friday night right now, and tomorrow's going to be Saturday. I think I've got a pretty good game plan. I'm going to attempt to make tacos al pastor for dinner by tomorrow night. So the first thing I do is head on over to the Mexican grocery in the morning, and I got to get all the ingredients for the marinade for the meat, and then I got to get the ingredients for the achiote paste. I apologize, I know that I am probably butchering that. Then I'm going to head on over to Lowe's, and I'm going to pick up some hardware because, yeah, we're going to try to make a charcoal burning vertical rotisserie in one day along with doing all the other things. So let's see if we can pull this off. All right, so it's Saturday morning, and we got to head over to Lowe's so that way we can get some rotisserie supplies. And then we're going to head over to El Ranchero, our local Mexican grocery, see if we can pick up some al pastor supplies. What do you think, Margot? All right, let's do it.
And we have a rotisserie
What's that for?
for the meat.
Yep.
And it spins all over. And what's this again?
The charcoal?
A charcoal. And what's this?
Lighter fluid.
Lighter fluid.
Are we ready to cook?
Yeah!
What is that? All the way up there?
No.
This?
No, that
Oh, that?
clown guy.
All right, so we just got done stocking up on stuff at the Mexican grocery. Margo, what'd you think of that store?
It was very great. And guess what? I got a clown guy. And look behind it. This is what it's going to look like. It's going to look
And that's how she's doing this whole trip with me, bribery.
like Dad.
All right, expectation versus reality. Once we got home and unloaded everything, we surveyed the bounty. And at this point, I was so excited, I just got going right away. I started off by trimming some fat off of the pork and then slicing it into some really nice thin strips. Then I began the process of making the marinade, which turned out to be way more intense than originally anticipated. By the way, links to all these recipes will be in the description below. To begin, I de-seeded the chilies and I brought some water to a boil to soak them in. I set those aside for about 30 minutes. Making the achiote paste was up next. Now, I've never heard of achiote paste before, but apparently it's a really common condiment in Mexico. It comes from the achiote tree, which happens to be really beautiful. Now, annatto seeds are found in pods on that tree, and those are the base for the paste. You mix those up with all the good things, and that becomes a delicious paste that will be used in our al pastor marinade. They said to blend the seeds in the blender, but that didn't really work out too well for me. It was kind of getting bogged down, so I got out my spice grinder. Then I finished making the rest of the paste in the blender per the recipe. When I got the paste finished, I started to work on the marinade. Now you're going to see a lot of pineapple today, as that's another staple of what makes the al pastor flavor. Then I layered in the pork and marinade and I let that sit for about 4 hours. All right, so I am 2 hours in and I only have the marinade done. We haven't even really cooked anything yet. So if you make this on your own, make sure you do the achiote paste like the day before, marinade the day before you want to cook, because I'm already 2 hours in and we haven't cooked anything. So we've made a huge mess. My wife's here helping me, because the baby was also freaking out the whole time, so. Next, it was time to prepare the dough for tortillas. Tortillas begin with masa, which is basically corn flour, and it's important to make sure you get nixtamalized masa. That's just a fancy process that brings out the flavor of the corn and adds nutrition. This dough is simple enough to make, and once it comes together, you just have to leave it alone before you cook them up. Then it was time to head outside and get the grill prepped for the cook. All right, I got a brief update for you on the vertical rotisserie situation. It's not going to work out. Timing has gone insane today. I did pick up a little rotisserie kit over at Lowe's today, and that was awesome. And the problem is that it's like a universal kit, and it expected my grill to have these high side walls. So this bracket isn't going to mount on anything. So I think I'm going to take a self-tapping screw and put it into the wing of my grill, and we'll see how that works out. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. All right. Let's see if she works. Ooh, that's nice. It's nice and slow. I'm excited to see what this does. All right, let's get some charcoal fired up. So I got the charcoal heating up, and then I headed inside to get all the meat placed on the spit. And oh boy, was that messy. I think this is literally the messiest thing I've ever done in cooking. Well, besides that one time, I spilled an entire batch of beer mid-brew, but that's a story for another time. I think I made the marinade a little too watery. Next time I'll thicken it up a bit so it's not so splashy. So about the time the charcoal was heated up, I spread it out and I began to grill up some pineapple. This pineapple is going to end up in a cocktail and some salsa later on. Then it was time to get that meat cooking. I threw out some apple chips on the charcoal to aid with some delicious smoke flavor. The idea here is to get some crispy bits on the outside and then cut them off as they form, which will allow you to continue getting really nice crispy meat. So while the meat was cooking, I thought this would be a good time to get some salsa made that I'll serve on the tacos later. This recipe calls for habaneros, but I completely wimped out and switched them out for jalapenos after smelling the chilies in the water earlier gave me a coughing attack. This salsa has mint and pineapple with onion in it, and it sounds kind of weird, but it was freaking amazing. Then, as the pork was getting closer to finished, I cooked up the tortillas. Then I went out to check on the al pastor. Now this is where things were not going according to plan. The meat kept slumping off and only burning in the coals, and I wasn't getting any crispy bits. Everything was just getting gooey. I think this is because you really do need to cook this dish vertically, so that as the meat slumps from getting cooked, it will just further compact instead of getting gooey and falling off. I decided to pull it off the spit after about an hour and a half and finish it up inside. This ended up with no crispy bits and instead was just the texture of sloppy joes, but obviously way tastier. Then, to console myself, I made a grilled pineapple margarita. And it was just about time for the final plate up. So it's been a couple days since I made those tacos, and yeah, at first I was pretty bummed that the texture wasn't what I was going for exactly, but there's a reason I don't have any footage of us eating the tacos, and that's because the flavor turned out amazing and we just gobbled them up right away. The smokiness was there from cooking them over the charcoal, and the marinade really penetrated, and the flavor of the chilies and the achiote paste was amazing. And the salsa was the perfect bright complement to all the rich dark flavors that were going on in the meat. And when you make your own homemade tortillas, there's this really nice tenderness and corn flavor that really is just the icing on the cake for everything. They turned out just unbelievably good. So I'm definitely going to make tacos al pastor again sometime. I think I'm just going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to break things out into a couple of different days. So yeah, I'm going to have to build a vertical rotisserie and take like a whole day just to do that. And then I'll do a day where I just do the marinade and then have separate time just for the cooks. That way one day doesn't get so overwhelmed. Thanks for watching, and if you like this wild ride, feel free to subscribe to see what I get into next, and leave me a like and a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Till next time, cheers.